Welcome to lesson 4 of the Trust Me course. I hope that you are getting to know yourself. I hope you're getting to know the factors that come into play when it comes to confidence, what confidence is, where it comes from, how it's torn down, how it's built up, and we're going to learn even more about that topic today in lesson 4 of practice making choices and being sloppy. And as usual, I will be reading the content and also elaborating and talking to you about the content as we go. For you tall growers out there, being sloppy may be your greatest challenge. The word sloppy might even be such a turnoff that you decide you've gone far enough with this confidence challenge. When I say sloppy, I don't mean you have to live like a slob for the rest of the week or be sloppy and risky with your life choices and decisions. We all have our preferences on how we like to do things. What I'm saying is that if you were to walk into someone else's sloppy space, that you are able to cope. Or if you saw someone floating recklessly through life, it wouldn't offend or upset you. I want you to make peace with sloppy. I want you to be able to relax around sloppy. You are practicing flexibility. As a tall grower, that is not your strong point, and it is important to have that flexibility. Why? The more flexible you can become as a rigid, tall grower, the less likely you are to snap a stem and attack another person or take it personally because of the way they are choosing to live their lives. Why are we talking about this with confidence? Because that can tear down another person's confidence. You being on the more confident side, confident in how you do things, confident in your beliefs, confident in your version of right and wrong, confident in your rules and your rule books. You're so confident that you have a strong belief that everyone should think as you think, behave as you behave, choose what you would choose, and it's very difficult for your mind, to even accept that there might be a different way to do things, or that one certain way isn't the only way. So for you guys to meet the balance with others in relationship, you have to become more flexible as to not tear down the confidence in other people. You can also do this in yourself. You can be so hard and harsh and critical and judgmental of yourself and your own actions that you leave little to no room for sloppiness, for making a bad choice. And this inner voice, you turn this on yourself, you turn this judgment on yourself, and you tear down your own confidence. So today we're going to be talking about what tears down confidence and what builds up confidence, and how we come away from those mental habits and tendencies that tend to do that. So the first one we're talking about here is being sloppy. In this course, I want to give you the capability to either relax, unwind, and loosen up, or maybe care a little more or put a little more energy into yourself, your life, and your relationships. So it really depends on which side of the confidence fence you fall on, which one of these you need to do. But we all have room to inch our way a little bit more toward the center of that seesaw and meet the other person in the middle, so that we can find that nice confidence balance within each of our relationships. For you flexible growers, so that's you guys that you're not, don't tend to be overly confident, and you second guess yourself and you question yourself, and it's always your fault and you must have done something, you blame yourself. You guys, the sloppy part will not likely be a challenge for you. So the making choices part is what will be more challenging for you. And we're going to just discuss why we where this comes from for you, why we have problems making choices. Many of you hold so much fear around having to make decisions. Some of that fear comes from the overreaction to choices and decisions you made that the tall growers in your life didn't like or approve of as a child. So maybe you you're young, you're little, you're a child, and you chose something that you liked, that you wanted to do, and suddenly found out that the adult in your life disapproved of that, and not only disapproved of that, but disapproved of that strongly, as in that was the wrong way to do that, and you didn't do it the right way. Even though you did it your way, you didn't do it the right way in their eyes. So you have quite a bit of fear still from those experiences. Some of you were always told what to do and never allowed to practice choices as a child. Some of it comes because you actually don't know what you like and don't like. You may have never given yourself permission to explore this for yourself. Some of this can come from just being mentally lazy, meaning it's just too much effort to have a preference. So you just let others decide for you. This isn't a lack of confidence. This is just a lack of effort. It can become really old news if you are in a relationship and you're always the one who has to decide everything, pick everything, choose everything, simply because the other person doesn't want to do it. We need to make choices as if there is no one else to consider. Ask yourself this question. If you just resonated with what I just said, I need you to think about it this way. If you were all alone and you had to decide where to go to eat, what would you choose? It's important that even if you are easygoing and are happy with just anything, that you bring some options to the table. Don't leave all the thinking to someone else. I can raise my hand on this one. I've definitely been guilty of this in past relationships. And it wasn't until recently that I realized that I'm mentally lazy when it comes to thinking about everyday life type of things. I really am not that concerned with those details. Pretty much any details I'm not really concerned with. If you've taken this course or any course, I'm sure you have found a gazillion spelling errors and missing periods and commas and bad grammar, and it's just because I'm not that concerned with details. I'm concerned with helping you understand the content, helping you, giving you examples, helping it sink in, making sure you can apply it, knowing what it means in your everyday life. I'm concerned with that, and that's pretty much it. As far as everything else goes, I just have one of those kind of minds that are just not concerned with the details to a fault, probably. And I'm sure it is annoying to others who pay a lot of attention to details and who pride themselves on, like, well, you have to look professional and this is what professional looks like and you have to do it this way and that. And I will probably drive all of you guys totally insane, but I'm just trying to give that as an example as how we all think differently. We all have different priorities. We all have different beliefs. We all want different things, and it's okay. And the sooner we all come to peace with it's okay for other people to do things in a different way and to choose different things, as long as they're, respectful, we're respectful of each other. I'm not purposefully annoying you. I'm not thinking, oh yeah, I'm really gonna get to them today. I'm going to misspell all the, no, not doing it on purpose. So if we're respecting each other, it's okay that we have differences. So, but I did realize that I'm not lazy when it comes to thinking. I think a lot, probably too much, but I have a one-track mind, as in I think about processing things and analyzing things. So I'm not lazy in that aspect, but when it comes to just everyday life details, pretty lazy. Just don't even like to think about it or talk about it. Don't even want to talk about it. Like that's as much energy as I don't want to put into that. So, um, yeah. So when I'm alone, this is fine. I eat the same things just about every day. I buy the same foods every time I go to the grocery store. I put very little effort into what I consider mundane tasks, like mundane everyday life details. I don't think about it much. I don't give it a lot of mental energy at all. However, I had to learn that while this is okay when I'm only striking a balance within myself, this changes when I'm not alone. I must be considerate and put in an equal amount of energy to find and maintain balance with another person, even if I really couldn't care less what we have for supper. So the person I am with may be a tall grower who cares a lot about the details being just right. It matters to them. And they might begin to become stressed trying to read my mind because they want me to have a good experience. They want me to enjoy this. It's important to them. Where to me, I really don't care at all. They really care. So we're all trying to find this balance so that we don't, you know, stress the other people out who maybe haven't learned the flexibility yet or don't know that about me yet. So instead of them trying to read my mind about what I would like to eat and become all stressed out, I need to help them out with some input. I need to put forth just a little bit of energy and effort, not because it matters to me, but because it matters to them, and they matter to me. So, I help them out in the things that maybe they are weaker in, and they can help me out in the things that I am weaker in. That's what a loving, caring relationship is knowing not only your own mind, but the mind of the one you're in a relationship with, and helping them, maybe they're working on their flexibility, but they're not quite there yet. Help them, make a balance, make it, give and take, compromise. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you're having to be something you're not, or you're selling out, or they're always wanting to change you. That's not the case. Now, that's possible that they could be, but if you're in a relationship where, you're doing your self work and you're both trying to become aware of your mind and take care of your own mind, and you know this about the other person and you know that they struggle in this area, it's perfectly okay for you to compromise things. And it's actually very loving and very considerate and very compassionate of you to help them out as they're becoming more flexible, to help them out as they're learning to not be triggered by this thing, as they're learning to calm and relax their mind. So it's just something to think about. So what does all of this have to do with confidence? In this course, we want to look at everything that tears down and also builds confidence, as I mentioned before. Becoming upset and attacking others or yourself for personal decisions tears down confidence and trust within relationships. On the other end of the scale, never experiencing taking pride in yourself and what you choose in life causes you to miss out on a very important aspect of confidence building. It is also important that I emphasize that confidence and balance must be practiced together. Confidence is a power that can be over or underused, so we have to find the balance within our inner relationship with ourselves first, with that caretaker and that inner child, and then stay conscious and aware of our confidence balance with each of our relationships. Meaning, if you think of someone in your life as better than you or less than you, your balance will be off. We will be talking more about this in lesson 6 when we tear down some pedestals. So all of this, this course is called Trust Me, and it exists within the people room. And everything that we do in the people room is about relationships. Confidence, whether it's, being confident, your inner child having confidence, or someone else's mind or inner child building confidence, it takes It takes love and compassion to build this confidence within yourself or within another person. If you're hard and harsh and critical and judgmental, you're going to destroy it. It is just this tender little plant that is not nurtured in that type of environment. So if you can just think of confidence in that way, and you think about self-confidence, you have to be kind and loving and compassionate and patient and tolerant with yourself. Patience and impatience and intolerance are the biggest killers of confidence. Write that down somewhere. That's a good statement. Impatience and intolerance are the biggest killers of confidence. If you're impatient and intolerant with yourself, with your own little inner child who is trying, is not perfect, doing their best, you can destroy that confidence in yourself. You don't trust anything that you think, you don't know what to think, you second guess yourself all the time. Impatience and intolerance. It's no good. It's poison to your self-confidence. It's poison to the self-confidence of other people in your life, your children, your husband, your wife, your partner, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever, whatever. If you are impatient and intolerant with them, and they're not strong, they don't have a strong confidence, they don't know how to handle your impatience and your intolerance, they're not strong enough to do it, you can tear them down so fast. And you may have been in a relationship with someone who was impatient or intolerant with you, and you could feel their like they just felt like they hated you, and there's the look on their face, and you could tell that they were annoyed by you constantly, didn't want to be around you. I mean, nothing makes you feel more unloved, unwanted, rejected. So all of that is very damaging to relationships. So, yeah, impatience, intolerance, that's the two biggest things that destroy confidence. So, here we go. Where do you fall in the sloppy category? Number one. And we're going to go through these. I'm going to ask you these questions, and I want you to find yourself. And then I want you to look at your practice to see what your practice should be if you have any of these things. First, we're going to look at where do you fall in the sloppy category. We're going to look at the sloppy stuff, okay? Number one, even though I like things neat and handled a certain way, I don't freak out or stress out or take it personally if I have to hang out in someone else's area that is not neat and tidy or watch them make reckless decisions. Your practice? Yay, you have the ability to cope with others without taking things personally or becoming stressed. Keep it up. And like I said, we all go through life. We all do life differently. And I know for me, I'm one of those float through life kind of people. As an activator, we are risk takers. We do it first, count the cost later. And I know for you diplomats out there, and maybe censors and crusaders, I don't even know, you're the planners. You plan ahead, you get all the details, you get all the facts, you strategize, you do things the smart way, you use your intellect. And an activator and even a connector and maybe even a guardian can do this also. We feel our way through life, meaning if it feels like we should do it, we don't need any other information. That's enough for us. And I know that a lot of you out there can't even conceive of that. You're like, yeah, I'm not just going to do this and hope for the best. That's just dumb. I'm not going to operate like that. And for us, we can't actually do it the way you do it. That would stress me out so much. I would never even You wouldn't be listening to this course right now if I had to sit and plan every detail and how this is going to go and how that's going to go. And I would become so frustrated by that it would stifle my creative flow. So for me, for it to flow, for it to come out, for that creativity to take, just take shape and take a life of its own, I have an idea and that's it. And I go with that. And I have this blind faith or blind trust that it will just work out. It will just turn out the way that it's supposed to turn out. That people will get what they need out of what they hear. That it will flow the way that it's supposed to flow. I have that mentality, and that's how I operate in life. But for you, on just as planning and strategizing and details and combing through and making sure everything's perfect, and whew, yeah, that I can't do it. I can't do it. And just like I can't do that, for you to think of, oh yeah, just have an idea and go for it, that would be so ridiculous to your mind that that would stress you out. So we all float through life in a different way. That's just the point. I'm a I'm a floater, and on the other side is the planners. And neither are right or wrong. It's just how we each have to do it to be able to do life in the least amount of stress, to do it in a way that feels easiest and most natural to us. And so, yeah, I commend you if you're able to see the floaters through life, and you don't get mad at them or take it personally or think they should change. I think that shows that you have developed some good coping skills and you developed some flexibility. So, very good job. Number 2, I can't cope with people being sloppy. Those people don't deserve to be on the planet. How could they disrespect me by not cleaning up? This is an example. How can they disrespect me by not cleaning up before I came to visit? I gave them plenty of notice. They must have it out for me. They don't like me. That's why they did this to me, because they really don't ever want me to visit again. After everything I've done for them, this is how they treat me. So if that sounds like anything that your mind would say or think, then here is your practice. If you are hearing this dialogue or thinking these thoughts, you have an inner child who feels very unloved and unlovable. And I know you're like, how do you even come to that out of what they were just thinking? Because I've done session after session after session, and we go down into the basement, and this is what we find. We find a very hurt and scared, and a child that just feels so unloved that they put this hard, they think they're alone. They're in this on their own. Nobody's going to take up for them. Nobody's going to love them. It's just them. And so they set out with this plan, this strategy of how they're going to keep themselves safe. And it is by trusting no one, never allowing themselves to even think someone might like them, much less love them. And they put up this hard exterior to prevent themselves from being hurt. So you've got a child in there who feels unloved and unlovable. That does not mean something's wrong with you. It doesn't mean you're broken. It just means your child has had some experiences and it has shaped it in this way. And these are the coping skills that it has come up with. You know what? It did the best it could with what it had. And it may not have had a whole lot of good experiences growing up, so it's doing its best. And I don't want you to be mad at your inner child or, hard or critical on it, I want you to say, you know what, you did the best you could do, and I'm proud of you. But you know what, I'm here now, and I'm going to help you. First, I'm going to help you heal from this hurt and realize that you are loved and you are lovable. I love you, and I'm going to care for you. And then you're going to learn a new language and how to speak to your inner child. And this will take some time, it takes some practice, but you can do it. So spend some time helping him or her, your inner child, heal and help it feel loved by going through the Learn to Tidy and Relax Your Mind course. If you've been doing the work and have released pain in the past and have learned to speak lovingly to your inner child, and it still thinks some of these things, it may have a mental habit of being the victim. You will need to have a talk with your inner child and help redirect it away from creating a victim story. It is only hurting and isolating itself by pushing others away. You can also read or listen to the Trust Issues category in the Nevermind blog. So I know that this, if you resonate with number 2 here, I know that you need time and you need help with that reprogramming. So just know that I do my best to put out as much content on that topic as I possibly can. And you're also welcome to book a session with me. I'm happy to help you personally. Number 3, we're dealing with where do you fall in the sloppy category. I'm a slob and I know it. I'm at peace with my slobness. Your practice. If you live alone and never expect others to do things for you or rescue you from your mess, then carry on. And when I say mess, I don't mean just, your environmental mess, like living in a sloppy apartment or house or whatever. I don't mean just that kind of mess. I mean your life messes. When we on this side of the fence, activator, connector, and guardian, we maybe not guardians as much. I think you fall more towards the let's plan ahead here. But if you do things more on the fly, if more on by the seat of your pants or the skin of your teeth or whatever the phrase is, if you live like that, you make a lot of mistakes. But you usually don't have a big fear of making mistakes. You're just like, oh well, whatever, I'll just choose something different next time. You don't have a big problem with risk because you have zero fear of the mistakes, of the consequences, of the judgment of other people. You've gotten pretty clear on all of that, and you just take the risk. So if that is you, then you do make a lot of messes, not just in your environment, but in life. You make messes in life, and you have to be careful. You have risk there that if you're involving other people, you need to learn how to pause a little bit and think, is this jumping into this just going to involve me, or am I involving others in this? And this is the part where we have to learn, even though this is our natural tendency, we also live with other people. We also have other people in our lives that we need to consider how our choices will affect them. So your practice, if you live alone and never expect others to do things for you or rescue you from your mess, then carry on. However, if you have others in your life who are directly impacted from your slobness, be considerate and work out a happy compromise. Make a list of the things in your life that you are proud of. The things on this list are the building blocks for your confidence. Learn to enjoy taking pride in yourself and your life. A lot of times we kind of skip past that. We just want to keep producing and creating and making making more and more and more, and we never really stop to think, you know what, I'm proud of myself for this and for that, and we never stop to build that confidence up in ourselves. We just keep doing and doing and doing and doing. So take a time take some time and make a list of the things in your life that you are proud of. I would suggest that practice to anybody, no matter where you fall on the scale here. That's a good thing to do. Now, where did your I can't make a decision to save my life thing come from? Number one, it fills my heart with terror to have to make a decision or take a risk. A tall grower in my life was controlling and harsh and critical, and I am so afraid of doing something they don't like or approve of and being one of the people on their poor excuse for a human being list. I am afraid of disappointing them and being rejected by them. Okay, so here is your practice. If you're an activator or a connector and your mind is naturally risk taking, you're just a natural risk taker, and you are terrified of taking risk, you have an environmental factor, because your genetics are saying you should be able to do this and do this easily. And if you are not floating through life and taking risk, then it's very likely that you have been shaped by, remember in lesson 1, I believe it was lesson 1, by an environmental factor, meaning you became afraid, and you're not quite acting yourself because it wasn't safe to be yourself, because you maybe grew up with a tall grower, a diplomat, a crusader, or a censor, and they planned out everything, and they valued people being smart and making smart decisions and doing things the right way, and maybe you heard them kind of, talk down about somebody that they knew that just made mess after mess with their life, and you heard all of this and you're like, oh, well, I don't want to be that. I don't want to disappoint my mom or my dad, or I don't want to be on that list that they've got because they keeping score over here, and I don't want to be rejected by them, and I want them to accept me and love me, and so I better do whatever, I better do it the way they think it should be done. And you live this life in this box that is not even you, and you don't even know who you are. You've never experienced freedom or enjoyment, and you're afraid, and that's just all there is to it. So once you start to overcome that fear and you start to give this a go, give this a little practice of saying, you know what, I'm going to adopt more of the mentality of I'm okay with if they don't approve of what I do or don't do. I'm okay with making a fool of myself if that's what it means to be free. Like if I get to experience freedom, but everybody thinks I'm an idiot, maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's worth it. I don't know. So your practice. Make sure you've completed the Overcoming the Fear of Mistakes visualization exercises for as many memories as you feel you need until your inner child feels relieved and satisfied. Think of the last decision you were faced with that terrified you. Ask yourself why it terrified you. If I made the wrong choice, then what? Fill in the blanks. What would have happened? Who would have thought what? Would someone have judged you in a negative way? If yes, who? Now listen to the Releasing the Need of Approval meditation. This is a meditation that talks about letting people put you in this box, basically, and you give them the key. So you live your life the way they think it should be lived. And maybe you're living it in a way that doesn't come natural to you. It comes natural to them, so they think that everybody should do it that way, but it doesn't come natural to you. And so you can't find that joy, you can't find that happiness, you can't find the enjoyment, the passion in life, because you stifle it. You won't let it flow through you. You're afraid to listen to your heart. You're so afraid of what people might think of you, or that you might be considered a failure or a loser or one of those weird people, or trust me, come on over. It's not that bad. Yeah. I get it. I get the I get the hesitation, but it's actually better when you can overcome judging yourself and overcome the judgment of other people. It's actually a relief to be able to just be yourself and let that be okay and love yourself and get to know yourself. You may have never even had a chance to get to know yourself before because you were too busy trying to be what everybody else thought you should be. So give it a try. You have nothing to lose. Okay. Number 2. Everything was decided for me. I never got to choose things as a child. I was told what to do and expected to do it. Now, as an adult, I feel paralyzed when faced with decisions. I have never explored my preferences. Your practice. So this is kind of in the middle here. It's not really a fear you need to overcome, which that's good news because that takes a little more time, a little more working with the inner child. But if you don't have a lot of fear around it, it's probably just because you've never been allowed to do it before. So now, as an adult, I feel paralyzed when faced with decisions. I have never explored my preferences. Your practice. For the next 24 hours, ask yourself the question, do I even like this? If no, ask yourself, what would you like instead? Do this for everything that you do and see for a full day. Everything. And I know that's like, I don't know if I want to do that all day. Just try it. Set your timer for 10 minutes. My goodness. And ask yourself, do I like setting my timer? Do I like this phone I have? Do I like the colors that I'm wearing today? Do I even like these shoes? Why did I buy them? Do I like where I live? Do I like the weather here? And if you answer no, ask yourself, well, why am I here? Why did I choose this? This is very telling. This will be very, very telling for you to show you why you're choosing what you're choosing, not just for the small things in life, the small everyday things in life, but the bigger things, the bigger choices, like what you're doing with your this is your life. Like, this is it. this is this is it every day. And if you're living it by someone else's rules and for someone else, because you think that it will make you more loved or more accepted by them, but you don't even really enjoy what you're doing, you don't enjoy what you're wearing, you don't enjoy who you're hanging out with, you don't enjoy any of it, what the heck are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing and why? I mean, you really need to ask yourself this question so you're not laying on your deathbed at hopefully 99 or 100 years old and thinking, what what was that? What did I just do? Or what did I just not do? Why did I even do all that? Why did I go to college? Who wanted that for me? Did I even like that? I don't even know. So get to know yourself. If you're a young person and you've got your whole life ahead of you, now is your chance. Please just do this exercise. Do I even like this? That should be the words in your mind all day today. Do I even like this? What am I drinking right now? Do I even like this? I don't know. Why am I drinking this? I don't know. Because so and so drinks it and this is what we always do and we drink this together, and it's like, stop. Stop. Get to know yourself. This is confidence building. I do this not because I'm trying to impress you, not because I want you to like me, not because I need your approval to say that I'm okay. I do this because I like it or I don't like it, or I want to do it or I don't want to do it, or I'm comfortable enough with myself that I can make a choice because I like it or I don't like it. That's how comfortable I want you to be with yourself. That you're not looking outside of yourself for the approval. You're not looking for other people to decide for you. You're not scared to choose. You're so comfortable in yourself, and you've come to such peace with, you know what, if they don't like it, I'm sorry, but it's just not worth my freedom. It's just not. Being approved of by them in their rule book is not worth my freedom. I have to give them, every time I do that, I have to give my freedom to them. I have to give my power away to them so that I can be, or I can think I am loved and accepted by them. Being loved and accepted, it should come from you. Like, your caretaker is the one you should be trying to impress here. Yourself. That's the only one you are to please. That's the only one you should care what they think, is yourself. Just you. That's how you become strong in you. Number 3, I can't be bothered. We're talking about making decisions. Why you can't make decisions, where it comes from. If you've got a deep problem with it, or if you're just lazy. Here we go. I can't be bothered. I really don't have the energy to decide such mundane things. I call it easygoing, but actually I am mentally lazy when it comes to tasks that I judge as trivial. Let someone else do it. I don't want to waste my time and energy thinking about such things. Okay, your practice is, first I want you to get the fact that it's not that you can't make decisions. You can make decisions. You just don't want to make decisions. You don't actually have a confidence issue here. This isn't a confidence issue. This is I just don't want to do it. So when it comes time for decisions, I just say, oh my God, I can't make a decision to save my life. Yes, you can. You can. You don't have fear. You know how to make choices. You don't have any excuse here other than you just don't like to do it. Okay? Just go ahead, and it's okay. You're not bad. You're not a bad person. You're not being judged by me. I just want you, this is one of those hard truths to swallow. You just can't be bothered. You just rather somebody else do it. You just don't want to think about it. Your practice, don't be lazy. If you live alone, all good, whatever. Just carry on. You have to make decisions if you live. You can't dump it on somebody else if you live by yourself. And you'll make the least amount of decisions as you possibly can. And that's fine. Like, it's just you. You're not impacting anybody else. You're not hurting anybody else with it. Carry on. If you live with someone else, don't put all the decision making on them. Take some of the load off of them by helping them make choices that impact you both. Help them. You know what? It matters to them where y'all go out to eat. They want it to be good, and they want to know that you like it. Help them figure it out. List some places. Or maybe just, if you just can't be bothered, have 3 places that you really don't care, but that you will throw out every time they ask. 3 places. Just go ahead and have those filed away in your head somewhere. Or whatever the decision, whatever it always, what movie, what Netflix or Hulu, like whatever it is, just pick something so that they can feel like they're not in this alone. They're not always having to do everything. We don't want them to have to go into those stories. So just give them something. Help them out in the best way that you can. That is it for today. That is a long lesson, but I hope that you got a lot out of it. Please do whatever your practice is, and let me know how it goes in the comments. I love to hear from you. I love to hear what you think or what you need to know more of as we're working on this building confidence. And I will talk to you tomorrow for lesson number 5.